What up, y'all?
Yellow
Snow. Y'all, it is time for episode 3 of Guy Martin's How Britain Worked series. This time, the subject matter is the seaside.
Just in general.
Yeah. What have we done? The railway, and then the mill, now the seaside.
I'm here to see how the seaside works. I can't wait.
This has been great so far. It's been a good slice of life.
On the level of the Dibna docu-series that we checked out. Kind of like, if Dibna could do this when he was like 35, this is exactly what the show would be like.
Yeah, that's perfect way to put it. Ready?
Let's do it, man.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
There's one industrial revolution invention that's outlived any steam engine or cotton mill. And it's something millions of us still enjoy to this day. The Great British Seaside Holiday.
And here we are in Llandudno. Llandudno. Yeah. And that's where the original Victorian holiday resort. Yeah. I don't think much has changed, really, has it?
We haven't always flocked to the coast. The tradition was born in towns like this. In the 19th century, thousands of workers transformed this Welsh mining village into one of the first holiday resorts, complete with the latest attractions.
150 odd years that's been there. She's doing all right, isn't it? Yeah. It's a fantastic piece of Victorian engineering, isn't it? Eh?
But Llandudno's attractions are under continuous assault from the wind and the waves, and keeping them in shape is a big job. Guy's here to help a dedicated team get the resort up to scratch for the next summer season.
Yeah, let's get stuck in it.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, like, I figured it would be, working stuff,
I guess, you know what, though? It's really important to know that they had, I guess when they were built, they were only for, like, let's say the 1%ers, right?
Right.
150 years ago, Jesus. But, we have that culture, too, at, like, Atlantic City, Ocean City.
Yeah, the Outer Banks.
Like Outer Banks. Like we have that as well.
Name any Florida beach.
All of Florida beaches. But it's interesting because remember it's they're old. They're old. Like all that shit's old. So yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that they have to revamp. You know what sucks though? Is usually the only time for construction is winter.
Right, and
no, thank you. Not the Northern Atlantic, not in the same waters the Titanic sunk. I don't need to just dive into that. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Now you make videos for internet.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm so good.
The pier needs much of its metalwork replaced.
Proper grafters out. I'll be with them. I'm not chickening out.
The 110-year-old tram, one of the few left in the country, needs a major overhaul.
Feel at home now.
Liquid engineering.
The centrepiece of the Victorian Fun Fair is in bits and in a warehouse 70 miles away.
I don't care if I'm 30-year-old. I'm going down it.
And Guy has volunteered to take part in the season's opening promenade concert. A challenge that's worrying him more than any of the others.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the pressure. The pressure. I cracked under the pressure.
It took us a long time to fall in love with the seaside. For centuries, it was where fishermen worked and ships docked. It was simply not the place where you went to have fun. But then, a strange new idea began to catch on.
Right, so 1750 was the year. Dr. Russell, bit of a celebrity doctor, like a Hilary Jones of today. He'd been researching the benefits of seawater for 25 years. And he said it's very beneficial to the glands. I don't know what your glands are, but anyway, it was good for him. It was good for him. So every man and the dog knew about the benefits of seawater. And that's where the seaside job took off. I best go give it a whirl. No benefits yet. Bloody freezing.
God.
Oh, we're all right. Yeah. My glands feel fantastic.
Well, see, the problem with that is that the first gland that hits the water is
Yeah, usually it recedes into your throat.
yeah.
Especially in the frigid Atlantic.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I can stress that enough. Frigid Atlantic. Like, no, thank you.
Turns an outie into an innie.
Oh my God, dude. You know, like, there's been only a handful of times where I've actually enjoyed the Atlantic Ocean up north, and that's usually in like September.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when the water is bearable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yes, and you basically I noticed that with Ocean City, like usually time it's pretty cold.
Freezing.
Yeah.
It could be like what is it? 98, 99 degrees on the beach, and then like something ridiculous in the water. There is like two extremes. You get hypothermia and you get cooked. There's no middle.
Right.
Absolutely ridiculous.
You're either a burger on the grill or ice cream in the freezer. There's no in between.
Yeah, man. God, that's what has frustrated me about where we live, or where I live right now. It's like there's no beach. There is, but you know what though? Regardless of the ocean, the beach culture is still massive here.
Oh yeah.
You know.
In fact, I still get booked gigs up there, so I still travel up there. It's still great for that.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, it's still a good beach culture up there.
But
I'll give you that.
It's interesting, like what he was saying though, because I guess I've really never paid it too much thought. For the longest time, for hundreds of years, the seaside could be viewed as a factory setting because of everyone that fished, came in. That was a main crop. You know what I mean? That was a main trade, is seafood.
Yeah.
So beaches were usually ports, which usually mean fishermen are coming back with their hauls, which means the beach probably didn't smell fun.
Right. It was for industry, not for
pleasure,
tourism, or pleasure. Yeah. So
that's interesting how that like that started to change.
Yeah.
And I want to know, maybe does that have a direct correlation between like people were more pushing inland and eating, let's say, steak and whatever they found, they lived off the land while they pushed inland, and they didn't really rely on fish, you know? And as more people pushed, at least for this country, as more people pushed towards the middle of the country, that fish market kind of was like, okay, because every time your city touched water, that's what your city did, was fish.
Yeah.
That's it.
It would be interesting to know that. Yeah.
The rich were the first to take up the new craze. But once the railways came, ordinary workers could afford the journey to join them. People flocked to the big new resorts like Blackpool, Scarborough and Cleethorpes.
There you go.
In 1848, the railway reached Llandudno. In a few decades, it transformed itself into a holiday hotspot, its spectacular coastline set off by the longest pier in Wales. Today, 130 years after it was built, that pier needs work. The original metal structure holding it up is badly corroded, and Guy's first job is to help give it a major overhaul.
Hell of a job. Hell of a job.
By the start of the 20th century, there were 100 piers in Britain, each a triumph of engineering. Early holidaymakers were often nervous of the sea. Many couldn't swim. But on the pier, you could be close to the waves in perfect safety. In the years since then, neglect, damage by ships, and fires have destroyed more than half of Britain's Victorian piers. Llandudno's is one of the few that survived. But if it's to stay intact for another 150 years, it needs serious attention. Guy's here to help replace metal frames under the pier's deck.
Orange overalls. Hang on. New helmets. Hey? Ready for action though, eh? What do you think? Right. Oh, get me tea.
It's December and the temperatures drop to -5 degrees centigrade. Woo! Working under the pier means starting early and finishing late to avoid the high tides. But it's all in a day's work for the specialist construction team that Guy's joining.
Oh. There's no central heating out here, boy. Hey? Look at those proper grafters, them. Hey, won't want to fall out with them.
So your biggest fear is confirmed. It is -5C.
Yeah. Which, like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Any degree with the like a negative in front of it is too cold for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
it could be 0. Zero is pretty cold too. You know what I mean? Because 0 doesn't exist. So I'm just saying, like, that's too much.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't, even though I prefer cold, I would rather work in the heat.
Mm-hmm.
Because finger function definitely becomes a lot harder.
Yeah.
In winter, especially, everyone's like, oh, you can work with gloves. But can you? Some things you can do in gloves, but like
most things you can't.
Like, listen, from the deck from hell, we had to use screws and the drills. I couldn't grab a screw from my pouch because of gloves. You need to take your gloves off.
Yeah.
And then your fingers are freezing. So it's like, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Sorry. I'll cut
Sorry, we do this early. Everyone knows we do this early.
Yeah. I got coffee here.
Yeah. Look at Spencer's area. When you see it lit up like that on the side, that means the sun's up. When it's not, it means we're doing this shit in the dark, guys.
Yeah. My sleep schedule is everywhere. Yeah. So
like, sleep schedule? Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When I can.
They wouldn't have had this gear on 140 years ago, would they?
I don't think so.
Proper hardcore then.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think you boys are hardcore though. Come and do it.
We're not hardcore, we're soft. Come on then.
Saying they're soft.
The pier's deck is held up by a complex web of support beams. The team need to replace the corroded ones with galvanized steel lattice girders. Each one needs to be bolted into place by hand. Guy will be working with project leader Paul Dixon.
Swing, lads.
The majority of the pier's metalwork has been in place since it was built in 1877.
Well, this has been up for 140 odd years. None of them bolts are going to come undone. That's the idea. You burn them all out, thresh them out, clean them all up, grind them up, and then get your new stuff down.
Guy and Paul have to knock the rust off the old Victorian beams with hammers before they can use blowtorches to cut through the metal.
If you're burning rust, the rust just explodes. So you need to get rid of the rust so you can burn straight into the metal. That's just rust, you see. Proper involved job. Get it wrong, you're knackered. You're going to get wet, aren't you? If you got wet in there today, boy, you're not going to last long, eh?
One invention made piers possible. To withstand the enormous power of the sea, engineers had to find a way of fixing the legs firmly to the ocean floor. The solution was the screw pile.
Alex Mitchell, 1830, came up with this idea of piles. You can't just dump a load of concrete into the water. You have to make a firm foundation in the seabed. So by that, you need to pile something into it. So it was just like a great ginormous bolt to just screw it into the seabed. Screw it into the seabed, screwed it down about 11 foot for these, and and started building on top of it.
Wow.
Llandudno Pier sits on more than 400 of these piles. An expert team was shipped in from Glasgow to sink them. Construction took a full year. Once the old parts are removed, new brackets are fitted. These have been prefabricated to speed up the job and give the team a fighting chance of fitting them before the tide comes in.
Put the nuts on the other side, guys.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so when it turns round, they'll be on this side, mate.
Sorry, boy. So go on, what do you reckon? Have I got the makings of a pier worker, boy?
Mate. It's good to have somebody who'll just get on with things. You know.
You reckon?
There's that many people just sit back and let you get on with it. Isn't there, lads?
I could proper get into this. And you can see where you've been, can't you?
That's right.
End of the day.
Yeah.
I've loved it. Doing other things because it's a bit dangerous, you know, whether it's racing, whatever, I'll go do that because it's a bit dangerous. You know, but if I can combine a bit of danger with work, well, I think that's even better.
This man has no fear.
I love that.
Built differently.
I love that. If I can combine, man, dude, yeah. Yes. This man, that's why I'm like, this guy is of that, the generation before. He was born in the wrong time.
Yeah, an old soul.
Yeah, I love that, man, because that shit is dangerous.
Yeah,
you fall once, or let's say you're having an off Monday and you cut the wrong support, that pier's going down, bro.
Yeah, and that's the most Monday of Mondays.
Yes.
The construction team may be armed with a wide array of modern equipment, but to get the brackets in place, they still rely on a tool as old as the pier itself.
What do you call it?
Podger.
Podger?
Podger, yeah.
Why is it a podger? What's that for?
What it is, if your rolls are lined up, you put it in. And you can, like, lift it and... I'll take this top across.
Yeah.
Can you get a bolt in that top now, guy?
Yeah, no, well. These fellas that put the job up originally, boy, what do you make on them?
They must be being fantastic workers in them days, really.
Wait, they'd have half the gear that you boys have, with them.
They'll have no gear whatsoever compared to what we've got. We've got spider cranes, all the burning gear.
Yeah.
You know, electric spanners to tighten everything up in that way. They'll have had nothing of this.
No like that.
No. Everything's just down to brute force. I think that's why everybody's getting smaller these days.
You're not wrong there, are you? Well, I say I won't fall out of any of you boys, though. Hey?
After 4 hours working in sub-zero temperatures, just one very small piece of support section is complete, leaving a great deal more to be done before Llandudno Pier is anywhere near ready for its summer season.
Right enough.
Goodness.
God. I mean, you're really against the clock. You're really against the clock because the tide's coming in.
Yeah, tide's
so you really got to hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Oh God.
Yeah, and there's only so much time before the summer season, you know. Even though I assume it's a bit shorter than it is stateside.
Yeah.
Because it's more north, cold.
Yeah.
I'm stating the obvious.
Yes. Very, very, probably very true.
Mm-hmm.
This is Llandudno, once known as the Queen of Welsh Resorts. Guy Martin's here to help get essential work completed on the town's attractions in time for the all-important summer season. While the tide's in, work on the pier has stopped. So Guy's headed into town to do a bit of research of his own. And he's found just the place.
We're here at the Queen Vic. You see a few Queen Vics, don't you? So we'll go and ask them. There's a few pictures in here, so we'll go and ask them, see what we reckon. So, come on. Come on. Let me squeeze through there. All right, mate. All right, let's have a look at the tea. Yeah. Have a look at these here. Have a look here, come on. Have a look here. Not the clearest of pictures. You see this man here? Bit of a smile on his face. She's flattened some grass in her time, hasn't she? Hey?
In 1871, another Victorian innovation gave coastal resorts an extra boost. The Bank Holiday Act gave all families in England, Wales and Ireland 4 days off a year. It was a chance to let your hair down at the seaside, but not, it would seem, to take your clothes off.
Look here. Look here. They're just like they've come from a tea party or something. Look at them. What's she dressed in? This is, you know, the end of the Industrial Revolution. We didn't know much about holidays, did we? It was all work, 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 work. You know, so it was like we weren't used to going on holiday. And she's going dressed to go to the, you know, go to dinner with the Queen or something. So he's just very, very uptight, very British. But that's, you know, I'm very known for being very stiff upper lip, aren't we? Very, you know, nothing bothers or any of that.
Around the same time, some workers got a chance to spend more than the odd day at the beach. Factories and mills began closing for a week each year for maintenance. Staff were given the time off, unpaid of course. By the early 20th century, these Wakes Weeks, as they were known, were commonplace, and in some parts of the country, the tradition still survives today.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? A bit more interesting than the usual holiday photos. No red socks and sandals and no pints of beer, so yeah.
One of Llandudno's most impressive features is the rocky headland that rises above the town, the Great Orme. The view from the top is stunning, but for those Victorian holidaymakers, sweltering in layers of heavy clothing, it was all but out of bounds. The walk up is hardly what you'd call a gentle stroll.
I reckon, don't knock it till you've tried it.
Guy wants to get a feel for what it would have been like to struggle up here under the weight of your Victorian Sunday best.
Well, that's not really the best way to do that because, this is the part that's blowing my mind is like wearing your Sunday best in the middle of summer. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, well, remember, like, that's no one knew. It's like when you have something new, you don't really know how to act. Vacations were new, and so they didn't really know what to do.
Yeah,
so it's like they're wearing full dresses, and I'm pretty sure women at that time could not show any bit of skin, so they had to be. What other bathing suit covered 90% of your body? You know what I mean? Like, dress it is.
Right. And I guess back then, showing either gender, showing skin was probably frowned upon.
Oh yeah, 100%.
At least in public,
Yep. But, so it's just interesting to see how far we've come. It was only 130 years ago,
something like that. Yeah,
that's pretty. That's what I feel like the Industrial Revolution really did globally is institute a vacation mentality as a byproduct of work until you're dead.
Right. And 4 bank holidays, at least now. I don't know what it is in 2024 now, but
they have like 80 or 90. Yeah. They have like half a year off.
Yeah. It's generous. It's generous. Like the only federal holidays, like we have several ourselves, but that's for a discussion for another time. Yeah. But let's see how Guy does this.
Again, I'm blowing a bit though.
But he's decided he'll carry the hat, the parasol, petticoats and full-length dress, rather than try them on.
You want to be walking up this, well, it's the Great Orme Hill. You want to be walking up here. It's 1 in 4, this is. 1 in 4. 20 odd kilos, that's nearly as much as a bag of cement. Hey, that's where the tram came in.
To save visitors from the climb, a tram system was installed in 1902. It was an instant success, carrying 130,000 passengers in its first year.
Nice.
It's all right me carrying this fancy frock up here, isn't it? Hey, but what about the lads building this? I mean, just the cable, it took 12 horses to pull the cable up here. That's fair going, is that, isn't it? Hey, not easy. They're stuck with it.
Llandudno's is one of the only 3 surviving cable-operated street trams in the world. John Platt is the man in charge of keeping it going.
All right, so this is one of them. I guess the other one of them has to be in San Francisco. And the third one, let us know below where it is.
Yeah. Cable car, that's like pulleys and shit, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I want to see the motor that pulls that thing up the hill.
Yeah. Must be real old school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Hey, all right, let's go tell a story though.
That's all right, that.
The man's house.
That's how they should be, that.
Yeah.
Keep nice and soft. Better than any hand cream.
The tram uses a funicular system. This offers a clever solution to a tricky problem. How to get coach loads of tourists up a steep hill without building an engine as big as a house. It does it by changing the hill from a problem into a solution. The two tram cars weigh exactly the same and are connected by a loop of cable which runs all the way up and back down the track. As gravity pulls one car downhill, its movement helps to pull the other car uphill, and it only takes a small motor to give it the extra boost it needs.
We get away with an 80 horsepower steam engine, you know, which, you know, in the Victorian age, we're used to everything being massive and very over the top, aren't we, really? But no, not here. Very understated. Yeah, bit of ingenuity.
Before the tram faces another season, Guy and John have to give it a full service.
Wow, that is an interesting system, you know?
It's just like a counterbalance.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like as one goes down, the other one gets pulled up, and then vice versa. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's genius.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Like,
God.
Let gravity do the work for you.
What? It's crazy. You know,
Wow.
and like he just said, usually we're used to like steam engines as big as houses just to get that shit rolling.
Yeah, ingenuity.
The one time they're like, let's not do too much. Let's just
Yeah.
do just enough.
And wow. Yeah.
The first job is to replace the heavy-duty rollers, called hats, that guide the cable connecting the trams.
Right, so go on.
This one here, we're sort of looking at this. We can see now that the rope's worn through it and actually started cutting a groove into the hat itself. So we'll have that one out.
Can you see it? Do you want to come down and have a look? Do you want to come down and have a look? Yes. Oh, look at that. You ready?
That's it, yeah.
So what do you reckon to all this engineering? I mean, all this is, it's still like the original.
It's the original idea
Yeah.
to what it was 110 years ago. As I say, I think they're absolutely amazing, the way that they sort of worked it out. Them guys sort of designed this with a pencil, piece of paper.
No computers.
No computers.
No.
All that rubbish. It's and it's right.
With only a single cable stopping the trams and their passengers from careering off down the hill, there's one bit of the system that's crucially important:
Knock it through.
the brakes.
There you go.
And it's here that lorry mechanic Guy is on familiar territory.
Where are we going?
On bench. There's a bit of weight in it, isn't there?
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Right.
I'll get some new brake shoes while you fix them up.
Cheers, boss. Just think if a cable broke. Oof, you know, it's 9 ton these weigh. You know, with a lot of fork on them, it's going to end in tears, one way or another, isn't it? So you have a safety brake system. Anything goes wrong, you handle to pull, stops the thing dead. Everybody happy.
The old worn-out metal brake shoes are removed and a brand new set are fitted.
There we go.
So that has a fair bit of wear on it, hasn't it?
That's got a lot of wear on it, that has now, yeah.
Are you happy enough?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, we're going to take this back to the tram now.
Good man.
A bit more metal in it now.
A bit more weight in it.
Yeah.
Once lined up, the new brakes are ready to go. They'll last for 10,000 miles, but on the busy Great Orme, that means only 3 seasons.
As long as you're happy with it, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Guy's got one more job to do before he and John can reattach the wheels and the new brakes to the tram.
We want it smothered in with grease, though.
I'm your man for that.
Want some grease on it.
Go on, where is it? I'm impressed with the way this is preserved. Absolutely spot on. Just as she was. I feel at home now. And just how everything's kept, you know, and how the tidiness of the workshop. I like a man with a clean workshop.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's military precision is all that. And then the enthusiasm of the lads here, you know, dead into it. But that's the, you know, wherever we go doing this whole thing, you know, it's the enthusiasm of the people still keeping it on, and that's what we need to keep going, isn't it?
Lovely, listen to that.
Job's a good one.
The trams may now be ready to go, but work on the structure of the pier is still a long way from being finished, and Guy's back with the team to complete some of the low-level work.
It's a bit cosy. All right, bud.
All right, Paul.
He's fitting crossbars to tie the upright supports together to stop them twisting.
Put them tight with your hand, then just give them a good bat.
Once he's bolted them in place, he has to coat them with tar. This waterproofs the new joists, protecting them when they're underwater. Pier building reached fever pitch during the 1860s and the 1870s. Every self-respecting resort had to have one. At least 2 major piers were being built each year, and constructors were in high demand. Like much of Victorian industry, it was dangerous, hard graft. 16-hour days, 6 days a week, were common across the board. One Victorian reformer took it upon himself to save the workers, but his efforts met with a mixed reception. And even today, he has his critics.
Robert Owen, have you heard of such a man? He was an MP, 1810 the year was. He said, we're all working 2 hours, we need to alter the days. He was saying we should have 8 hours at work, 8 hours recreation, and then 8 hours sleep. What sort of man would say that, eh? This country wasn't built on 8 hours work, was it? You don't work 8-hour days,
You don't do 8 hours.
I mean, me personally, I think that's where today's economic downturn started, really. 8-hour days, I don't agree with them. I'm sure the fellas that built the original piers, I'm sure that's what they were doing. You work every hour that God sends. That's what this country was built on.
Whoa! Load off!
Many Victorians felt equally sceptical. Industrialists ignored Owen, and they ignored the increasing protests of their workers.
Just slacken that nut off first, guys.
It wasn't until 1847 that a 10-hour day became law, and that was just for women and children.
The tide's coming in, so we're going to pull my finger out. I don't mind talking to you, buggers, right?
Hey, there's plenty of time. It's only a guy who's got to get wet.
Work on the pier is very much on track to be finished in time for the summer season.
Great.
And when that season starts, it'll kick off with a concert on the promenade. In Victorian times, Llandudno's seaside concerts were massively popular. One visitor, a young Henry Wood, liked them so much that he took the idea to London and launched a great tradition that still exists today.
He was down there and he saw all this taking place and he thought, right, this will catch on, this. Took it back to London, the whole idea of the Promenade Orchestra. And Last Night of the Proms, you've heard of that, haven't you? My dad loves it. Yeah, and you think Last Night of the Proms, well, it's the Last Night of the Proms, isn't it? Well, no, Promenade.
Thanks to the engineering breakthroughs of the era, the instruments used by the orchestras at these concerts were changing too, as music maestro David Evans demonstrates to Guy.
Very cleverly, they invented this valve system. When you push the valve down, a series of little holes opens in the valve and adds this section of tubing.
So when you play in there without pressing any of the valves, it's not adding any of these separate
None
pipes
at
in
all.
there at all. So the air is just going in there, around the pipes, and then
out.
exiting there.
Yes.
Right, but when you press that, it diverts the...
Air into an extra section of tubing. Then I can play scales and things, you see.
Go on, can we have the scales?
I'll show you the inside of the piston valve if you like.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting from your point of view of your technology. It's awfully like a piston valve for a steam engine, isn't it? Yeah.
New technology didn't only make these instruments possible, it made them cheap to manufacture too. Working class communities right across Britain could afford to start their own brass bands. By 1900, almost every town and city in the country had one.
This was a picture of Llanelli Town Band in 1890, and this man standing here is my great-grandfather.
Right.
And he was a steel worker.
Was he?
And he couldn't read or write,
Could he not?
but he could read music.
Is that right?
He signed his name with an X.
Couldn't read and write, but he could read music.
He could read music.
Guy's keen to follow in the footsteps of the millions of workers who learned an instrument and joined a band. He wants to play in the Promenade concert at the start of Llandudno's summer season. However, there is one rather major problem. He doesn't have a musical bone in his body.
Morris's tour bus broke down in Grimsby, and I was on a breakdown. I repaired that, and I think that's about the height of my musical skills.
So he's decided to steer clear of the more complicated stuff and is going to become a drummer. He'll be trained for his performance by timpani expert Dr. Dewi Ellis-Jones.
All right.
He is the epitome of someone like in the church choir that you put in the very back. You let him in because he, fixes the roof or something.
He's just a good guy, and you just you keep his mic unplugged.
Yeah.
But he's there just for the t-shirt.
Right, and the free beer.
Yeah.
or you let him play bongos in the band.
Yeah.
The prime example right here.
Yeah. Tim is it's now I always want to throw an M. Is it did he say timpani or timpani? Which one is it?
I have no idea, man. That's not my area of expertise.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's interesting that, you know, like those instruments became more accessible to the common everyday folk, and like I guess the brass band at the time was like the modern that equivalent of like the cover band these days
Yeah.
of, you know, bunch of
I
you know what I mean.
I was hearing more of like when Fender made its cheaper version and made it accessible to everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
It made rock and roll accessible to the common everyday folk, and you know, and like these days, you have like digital audio workstations on your phone, like BandLab and GarageBand, and people can make beats with that. That's kind of the equivalent of that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But let's see him become a drummer, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
How trick was that?
If you maybe try and hit it in the centre.
Oh, yeah. The man has got the patience of a saint. And when it comes to me having rhythm, I have no rhythm at all.
So we go 1 and 2 and 1 and. A bit too slow.
The machine timpani, or kettle drum, was another product of the new Victorian technology. Levers and pulleys meant that the skilled musician could change the pitch of the drum while he was playing. But for Guy, Dowie's keeping things nice and simple.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Wrong way round.
Yeah?
Yeah.
At his concert, Guy will be playing Elgar's classic Pomp and Circumstance, always a prom's favourite.
When's my bit? Is that my bit there?
So you just keep going, yeah.
Oh, I owe it to them. I owe it to them. You know, they're like all the grafters, whether they're miners or whether there was textile workers, whatever there was. I owe it to them to persevere with it, and I'm not going to give in. I'm going to master it.
Brilliant.
Right, that was what? That was about a third of it. So yeah, what we've got? We've got a few weeks yet. A good few weeks. Right. I need to be taking this home. I need to be doing my own work.
I've got a copy. You can take that with you.
Thank you very much.
Could you imagine him at home just bum bum? Like, what are you doing, dude? I'm practicing. Those are not small drums.
No, they're not. They're not. I mean,
God.
he has some big pieces of machinery in his shop. I mean, that's not the biggest thing in his shop.
No, definitely not. But still, that'd be so annoying if he has other people in his garage. I'm like, bro, can we just play the radio? No, I gotta bang the drums for history.
I gotta practice, guys.
Oh God, it's not even one of those things. Just take it outside. Like, no, you need a whole crane system to take those drums out.
Yeah. And you know, trying to teach someone without rhythm, like one of the whitest guys ever, rhythm, it's an impossible task. And this person is the most patient person ever.
I don't know. You know, it's funny because like you just have to break it down differently for that, because you know he does know it's all like math, right?
Yeah.
And if I know it sounds terrible, but like classical music, if you take the melodies and stuff out and just convert it to math, it works. Then anyone can read music.
Right. It's accessible there.
Remove the heart and soul out of something, and it turns into math.
Right.
That's why a lot of people that are amazing mathematicians can do very well at reading and playing music. Not like guitar or like, but piano, like they can read it. They can.
Guitar too. Like anything. Like Albert Einstein played guitar apparently, and was like musically inclined as well.
Yeah,
that's one example of that. And also, I read somewhere that Dave Grohl learned guitar from his drum kit, like associating certain parts of the guitar with a drum kit, like, you know, the bass lines and certain like thing. I can't get into it all because I don't have it off the top of my head, but it's on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just makes sense. So, I mean, I attribute learning music to the ability to correctly teach music.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
and associating it with other things, and
Yeah.
yeah, systems.
Guy Martin is in Llandudno, helping to bring one of Britain's greatest Victorian seaside resorts back to life in time for the summer season. The biggest challenge is the town's famous pier, which needs much of its original ironwork replaced. Guy's taken a shine to the job.
Yeah. Well, I get stuck into a bit of that. Hey, why would someone not want to do that for a job, hey?
Tonight, they're facing the trickiest part of the job, working right down at sea level on supports that spend most of their time submerged.
All right.
Guy has to be lowered into place by a spider crane.
You can come right in play, mate, if you want.
You all right?
He's working against the clock with Paul Dixon to remove 2 corroded crossbars before the tide rises and they disappear again.
You've managed, what, 10 years without going swimming? So you haven't done bad, eh? I have to use the carabiners and the ropes to get me in a comfortable position for burning. She's not warm, was it? She's not warm. And then, yeah, get burning away. It's just cutting, that's all we're doing, is cutting. So you use oxygen propane. You get the surface of the metal to start glowing, and then you use the oxygen blast to blast the steel away. Got a few, what we're calling them, boulder burns, where me lumps of metal have been burning through us, and my nipple's going to be in a fair old state, I think.
Oh my goodness.
But it's all right, it's all part of the job, it's character building.
Hey, he's a keen lad. Yeah, very keen.
Once Guy and Paul have removed an old bar, the team on deck lowers a new one for them to bolt into place.
This is a new bar coming down. Well, I measured it half hour ago, and then boys have got one knocked up already.
By the time they've finished, they'll have replaced 24 bars along the half-mile length of the pier.
Wow.
I think it's just going to come down a bit further to get under my bloody ropes, boy. Yeah. I didn't drop out. You can't keep 140-year-old pier alive. Yeah, all in a good cause, isn't it? Hey?
Man.
With the pier coming along nicely and the start of the summer season fast approaching, Guy's turning his attention to another of Llandudno's most popular Victorian attractions, the Fun Fair. He's visiting a workshop in Warrington.
Hey. Whoa.
Hey.
And fast approaching. Guy's turning his attention to another of Llandudno's most popular Victorian attractions, the Fun Fair. He's visiting.
Where is it? How do I? Let me just get out of the way. Hey!
Look at
Check
that.
out. It is. It took us a little bit to put it the right way.
Yeah.
Well, we got something like that.
Mine's in storage somewhere. I
Gotcha. You're just like a legit sign you can screw in.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
One day when I'm not feeling lazy, I'll look around for it.
Yeah,
but it's there somewhere in those boxes.
Yep.
Over
Yours
there.
is like that one though. Yours is triangular. Yep.
Yeah, it is. It is. So we had to.
Yes.
Had to.
In a workshop in Warrington. It's managed to preserve many of the era's most popular attractions. Guys come here to find a classic children's fun fair ride, but on his way in, he gets distracted by something a little more adult.
Hang on. There we go. Right. Oh, heck no, I was smooching now. Oh, heck.
This is a mutoscope, or what the butler saw.
Oh, heck. We're only halfway through the story. I best put another penny in. Another penny in. The mutoscope, I thought, you know, you kept putting your pennies in and turning the handle. It was just a lot of pictures, flick fashion, like a flick book. And he kept sort of hinting towards a bit of heavy petting or something like that, which I thought was great. I thought, what is happening there? So I had to keep putting another penny in and turn the handle a bit more. And I thought, he's having me on, he's having me on. But by the time I'd realised he was having me on, I'd spent about the day's wages, I think.
Fortunately,
good to know that type of content was accessible and damaging back in those days, as it is now.
And where'd you spend your money? Just the flip book machine.
Yeah.
Damn them.
Yeah, that was that generation's only friends.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Fortunately, there are more wholesome pleasures on offer here too.
Good.
This is what's actually brought Guy to Warrington, a Victorian helter-skelter. When these towering rides first appeared, they quickly became the stars of the seaside.
That was the thing, because there was no such thing as skyscrapers and all that back then, and seeing this great big 50-foot monstrosity sat on a beach, oh, look at that, there's one of Mablethorpe here. We've got helter-skelter, a few horses and carts. That's Claire's ice creams there, you see. And then we've got another one here of the famous Skegness. Oh, look at that. That's proper black and white, though, we like that. Helter-skelters, my word.
He's here to help get one of the last 2 wooden examples in the country ready to ride again.
Yeah.
It's owned by Mike.
Yeah, screw that.
Nope.
I've never been on a proper helter-skelter, but I'm just gonna take a wild guess and say a wooden one, no thank you. I don't even do roller coasters.
No.
Y'all know that.
No, you went on a wooden one, right? With no loops.
Yeah, with no loops, and I screamed like a little bitch girl.
But did you like it, though?
Hell no. I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
You just hated the ride like that because that's all they do. Or do they go like in a circle? Oh, that's so funny, Spencer.
I can't do the drops like that. I had to get my friend Lexi to go on it with me, and I had to be like super drunk in order to do it. That's how much I hate roller coasters.
Which is a double. That's probably not the best idea too, because of the drops.
Right. But
oh my God,
I'm serious, guys. I don't do roller coasters.
Crazy. Oh man.
Mike Carroll.
Right, Mike, what's the plan?
Plan is what we do every year. We sort of go through the chutes maintenance-wise.
This is the bit of the chute.
This is one of the sliding parts where you would come down on.
Right. So where do you want me then?
So what we're going to do today is just going to sort of basically remove these lats off.
Yeah.
We've got a few that have got little screws in, so we'll take them off first.
Yeah.
And then we'll tap off the old runners, and then we'll attach new runners on there today.
Spot on.
Get off.
Worn-out wooden runners need replacing on 3 sections of the structure. This involves taking out the old wood and replacing it with thin boards of beech.
So we're going to replace all these runners then?
Yeah, we're going to take all those out today.
Beech is perfect wood for the job. When cut or broken, it doesn't splinter.
The kids, even today, they just stop and stare at it. Even if they don't go on it, they come and their jaw just drops down as they look up to the
I can remember going on these when I was a kid. You're getting that tatey sack and you get scooting on down.
That's it.
I can remember being a kid being on them. You're quite attached to her.
Yeah, I always say it's like my third arm. Certainly lost without it.
You would?
Yeah.
Right, what's the plan then?
Plan is, put a bit of blubber glue on.
Pushy strong stuff, is it?
Yes.
I've only just learned today that it was like an old English word, just meaning chaos. Is that right? So my life could be a bit of a helter-skelter, couldn't it? But yeah, just chaos. That's good, that.
To minimise movement, the beech runners are both glued and screwed to the main frame. The helter-skelter slide is made up of a mind-boggling series of angles and corner turns, and every one of the 30 wooden sections is different.
Who thought of that?
It must be some drawing.
This was all done, 130 odd years ago, wasn't it?
The wood may be harder to maintain than modern-day metal equivalents, but for Mike, it's worth the extra effort.
It's fascinating. Just the work that's involved in it, you know, the workmanship, you know, the character, and the fact that it's just once it's gone forever. You know, no one's really going to build a wooden one again.
But I just think we owe it to these fellas to keep it going, don't we?
Definitely, yeah.
It looks all right, though, doesn't it?
Brand new, that. Good as new.
Yeah, ready for action, boy. Ready for action.
The work's done. Now comes the moment of truth. Will the newly restored sections fit back in with the rest? To check, they assemble the top third of the ride in the workshop.
The whole slide altogether is about 7 ton.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
7 ton?
7 ton.
It's a fair bit of weight, and that's all man-handled together.
It's all flat packed and man-handled, yeah, so it's all carried into place
No
by hand.
cranes, fork
no
trucks.
lifting, no nothing.
Man-handle.
All
my
man-
God.
Proper graft then.
real man's work.
Yeah.
This is good practice for Guy. The next time he builds the Helter Skelter, he'll be 50 feet up above Llandudno's promenade.
You've got to carry
Yeah, that's a no for me, dog.
Mm.
Mm.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, in the name of a attraction on the pier, I don't think so.
No.
Mm-mm.
these up 50 foot. Hey, 50 foot.
I don't care if I'm 30-year-old. I'm going down it. Do you still go down it?
Oh, yes.
I'm not scared of heights. There's me saying that. But when I'm having to do this 50 foot up in the air, yeah, it might be another story.
OK, this is the one that we've just done the side on there, Guy.
Yeah.
So we'll try that into position, make sure. Oh, look at that, lovely.
Can I go down it? I've got a slide. That. I'd have paid me £1.50 for that. Spot on. Now we're talking, hey? Right. You wait till we get a 50 foot high.
Llandudno is now almost ready for its summer season. The engineering work on the 130-year-old pier is finished. But as any self-respecting Victorian would tell you, it's all about appearances.
Yeah, it's all right doing the donkey work, all the burning, the cutting, the lifting and all that, innit? It's all right doing that. The finishing touches as well, isn't it? You need to get them jobs right. You know, it's like a bit of a testimony to the fellas back, a couple of 100 years ago. You know, this was their week away. You know, so we owe it to them to keep it going, don't we? We hear the same names over and over and over again, don't we? Brunels, your Arkwrights, Abraham Darby. We could keep coming out with these names all day, can't we? You know, but no one mentions the grafters. They've never been mentioned before. And if it weren't for them boys, none of this would have happened. Britain would not have had an industrial revolution.
In the morning, the crowds will hopefully flock in to enjoy a proper Victorian day at the seaside. But before he can relax along with them, Guy's got his own personal ordeal to get through.
Oh, I have drums to be practicing on. Yeah, I've got a lot of learning to do there. Dun, 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 dun. Was that right?
Close enough.
Over the past 4 months, Guy Martin has been in Llandudno in North Wales, helping to prepare its original Victorian attractions for the new summer season. He's got stuck into some serious engineering work on the magnificent 130-year-old pier. He's ensured the tram system is safe to carry passengers up and down the Great Orme.
You ready?
That's it, yeah.
And he's helped to restore an original Victorian fun fair, so it can set up once more on the promenade. After all the graft, Llandudno is ready for a big day.
Go on, man. Go on, man.
First thing in the morning, Guy's already hard at work building the Helter Skelter.
Where do you want me? Yeah.
The easiest job in the world, guy.
It's a dangerous 4-hour job.
What's it like, Guy? It's slippy. Right, shall I get up on there?
Yeah.
Just like the fairground workers of the past, you need strength and a head for heights to manhandle heavy panels up to the top of a 50-foot tower.
Spot on. Yeah, brilliant.
This is one of only 2 wooden Helter Skelters left in Britain, and it's the crowning glory of the fair.
Wow.
Looks the part, doesn't it? Looks the part.
Wow.
Next to it, some original steam-powered rides are being prepared.
We're on a galloper. That's what we're on. Galloping horses and galloping chickens. I didn't know chickens galloped. Well, you do now, don't you?
Steam was first used to power attractions in 1868. It allowed for bigger and more impressive rides.
125-year-old it is, though. Looks a treat, doesn't it? Looks a treat. They're original, 100% original. Steam powered. And we've got the organ. We're just coming up to the organ. It's like a new one, isn't it? Like the day it was built.
Each wooden horse took a craftsman 10 days to carve.
Wow.
The quality of finish was second to none, and British gallopers sold around the world. Steam gallopers were more popular in the newly built theme parks of America. But as owner Gary Howard explains, the clockwise direction of travel gives this one away as an original British design.
The reason British sets go this way round is because...
Go on, we're round in a minute. So go on, what's the reason for him going clockwise?
Because in the olden days, when the man had the sword, they was usually right-handed, and you got on your horse that way.
You always get on your horse from your left-hand side.
Look at that, every day's a school day. I like that.
Although the Galloper has its own steam engine, the power for its lights is generated by another parked alongside.
Go on, touch more. Touch more.
The Showman's steam engine works like a mobile generator does today. There's a dynamo attached to the steam engine's flywheel. As the flywheel spins, that in turn spins a metal coil between the magnets inside the dynamo. This creates a current, which is wired into the Galloper to light its bulbs.
Look, we've got some light coming. See, look,
Come
we've
on
got
then.
light now.
Yeah, I see lights coming on the ride as well.
Lights coming on there. Very authentic. We've got no national grid in here, eh? No national grid. Hey, not going a treat, isn't it?
All right,
100%. 100%.
Before the fun fair opens to the public, Guy's got an appointment on the Great Orme.
Look at that.
The season's maiden voyage for the tram system he repaired.
You bloody noisy buggers.
Guy's taken the wheel to carry the first load of tourists into town.
Brakes are working a treat. 100%. Be careful as you're getting off the tram because the steps are a bit awkward, and take everything with you. So yeah, and most importantly, have a great time. All right. Grand job.
That's awesome.
That just leaves one last job.
Here we go.
Shirt in, shirt out.
Shirt in, yeah. Shirt in. Used to, yeah.
Tutor Dewi is on hand for moral support.
My mother dressing me for school. Hey? I'm all of a dithery. I am all of a dithery.
Don't be nervous at all. There's no need. You'll be fine.
Guy will be playing with the Beaumaris Brass Band.
Please, a mustard though. They're the fourth in the country.
Very good band.
Are they?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, let's go for it then. Yeah?
Yep,
Yeah?
let's go for it.
Right.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Conductor Gwyn Ellis will lead Guy and the band as they play Elgar's Pomp and Circumstance March.
Just keep one eye on me, one eye on your drum. Have you practiced that bit yet?
Oh, God.
One, two.
A good start.
5, 6, 7.
But then
Oh, I just wanted the ground to swallow me up. I did.
8, 9, 10.
The pressure got to me. I just wanted to do it right. You know, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing well.
at the height of their popularity, there were 20,000 brass bands across Britain.
Why didn't they give him the cymbals, man?
Right.
He can do that. Give him that, man. Don't give the percussion or the timpani drums. God, man.
I gotta be honest, man. I wouldn't have noticed.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of worked there. I mean, me personally, I don't know, but then again, tradition and musical inclination
Correct.
and stuff that isn't 6 strings.
Correct. It's a different world.
Yeah, totally different world.
Today, there are still over 1,000 keeping the tradition alive.
We're doing that again.
With a strong finish and a happy audience, Guy's done his duty. And he's soon back on more comfortable ground.
You fancy having a go? I'll not charge yours. Go on, you have a go on and all, mate. Do you want a hand up?
Yeah.
Come on, lass, don't be shy.
The fairground rides are still as popular as they've always been.
Proud moments, like a proud father. There's a few clinging on there for grim death, isn't there? He's all right, he's all right.
Wow.
She wants to go again. Your dad's knackered, love. You know, you've got all these fancy PlayStations, and what else do kids have now? Facebook. It's PlayStation and Facebooks and Xboxes and mobile phones. But they're still going, this is over 100-year-old, this. Still making kids happy. You ready? Right, we're going.
And the hand-cranked merry-go-round, built in 1850, is going down well too.
Wow.
Is that quick enough? No, you want to go quicker? Right.
Thank you.
No problem, mate.
Thank you.
No bother. Cheers, mate. Spot on. Another happy customer. Do you want a hand down, love?
Yes, please.
You got it?
Yeah.
Good lass. Is that all right? Enjoy it.
Thanks.
Enjoy that.
Yeah.
That's all right.
With the fair in full swing, the tram ferrying folk up and down, and the pier safe and sound, Llandudno is back in business. Some pleasures, it seems, are timeless.
You like the pier? You like coming for a bit of a jaunt up the end of the pier?
Oh, definitely.
You do?
Definitely, definitely.
You know, there's a lot to do, a lot to see, and the views are pretty spectacular.
It's lovely today, isn't it? No bother. Well, have a good day anyway.
And you do.
All right.
See you.
Cheers, love. Yeah,
And
I think it's doing all right, standing strong, isn't it? Yeah, and she's open for business. A few folk about, a bit of sunshine. Paint's looking well. Hey? Into her. Everybody happy.
Next time on How Britain Worked, Guy restores the magnificent machine that fueled the Industrial Revolution by opening up deep shaft coal mining for the first time.
That's it, bit of gentle persuasion.
He follows in the footsteps of those early miners.
Look at that.
You won't get coal now, then?
And he finds out what dangers they faced.
Some heat off that.
Oh man, I can't
man,
wait.
that's gonna be a good one next one. But this was a really wholesome episode here.
It was, man. It's like, it's interesting, man. It's interesting because they put as much. Granted, I know when they built the pier and they built all this stuff, it wasn't the people that built it that usually got to enjoy it. You know,
Right.
kind of like the Titanic. You know, but still, it's nice to see that people now still enjoy something that is preserved in time due to a lot of hard work.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
It's like I like that. I like it. I love the show, man.
Yeah, this is great. And me personally, I can't remember where this is. It's somewhere in North Wales, but I do have plans June to like both Brighton and Blackpool are on my travel list. So if there's any other seaside town like that, put it down below.
I think it was a Cludino, something like that.
No,
Which
yeah.
could be spelled with like a PH, PS, something in the front. Like, who knows?
Yeah. I'm sure it's in the description of this video. I'm looking at it right now. I don't
See,
have
it's gonna be like C something.
Yeah.
Or LL makes CH.
Yeah, it doesn't see it on here. Maybe it's in the comments. Anyway, I'm sure someone will help us out with that. But anyway, y'all, thanks for watching. Can't wait for the next one next week.
Dude, yeah.
Somewhere around to subscribe and watch another wholesome video, hopefully.
Hopefully.
What do they do after that, Dan?
Man, unplug and go embrace some vacation, guys.
Exactly. And we'll see you in the next one.
Later.
Fellas, we can be that mistake. Let's do this.